Bam. Good Monday morning, July 21st, 2025. It's the Hat and Beard Show. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. Guys, we're getting close, and we got stories coming out now. We are so close to the start of the regular season. The slop content will be ending soon, but that's what we're here for now. Today, guys, we got some stories, and hopefully we got some time to get around to a video that we got at the back end of it. But leading off today, our league-wide news coming to us from USA Today, and that is Trump threatens the Washington Commies stadium plans. The franchise doesn't change the name. Think what you will, do what you want, but I absolutely love the idea of him going, hey, quit being lame. Go back to the name that everybody knows and loves. I don't care what your opinion is on it, but the Washington football team, now the Washington Commies, will forever, in my book, be the Washington Redskins. And they need to revert back to that original OG name. It's not offensive. It's a term of the team, the logo, everything was supposed to support and enshrine legacies of the native population that was here. So it's not the AWFL awful women, the affluent white female liberals have ruined so much of everything. And once they got their dirty little dick beaters on the NFL, well, you see what they did. Also happened down in Cleveland with the Cleveland Indians having changed their name to the Guardians, which is also equally as wiggity, wiggity, wiggity whack. We will then be taking it on over to some local news here with the Detroit Lions. That's what most of us are here for, guys. That's what most of us are here for. That's what we're here to do. One pride worldwide. Let's go. Oh, wow. Imagine my shock when I read the headlines the other day. Levi Onwuzurike will miss the 2025 NFL season with an ACL injury. Oh, goody for us. $4 million against the cap directly down the drain. Kind of like old Jim Gaffigan bit there, you know. Take Hot Pocket, throw directly in toilet. Take Levi Onwuzurike, throw directly in toilet. We all knew that this was going to happen. It was C.J. Mosley all over again. If you recall, he came in injured and then tore his pec, played five snaps, and then blew his Achilles out or something along those lines. But Brad Holmes, this is one of the slight negatives you could say about old big brain Brad Holmes, is a little bit of too much commitment to an individual player despite knowing what is probably going to happen. And yeah, Levi Onwuzurike had a little bit of hype in the free agent market. There were some teams that were vying for him a little bit more, and he chose to come to Detroit. Brad Holmes opened up the checkbook, and it ended up costing us not a lot, but it's still money that could have been allocated elsewhere, and you're getting exactly dick all for it. That ties into our poll question here, and that is, who steps up now that Levi Onwuzurike is done for the 2025 season? The rook from Boise State, my guy, Ahmed Hassanin, option A, with 40% of the vote, 60% of the vote. There's 5 of you guys already voted in on this. 60% of the vote saying Tyleek gonna go ham, and this probably he's probably the most beneficial individual in this situation, simply because Tyleek Williams was already going to get a lot of run, as long as he stays healthy, with Aleem McNeil still rehabbing his knee injury from late in the season last year. So Tyleek Williams already poised to have a high rep range early on in the season, but then you kind of anticipated a little bit of a drawback to it. You know, obviously Levi, Roy Lopez, Pat O'Connell, or whatever his name is, still there. But now with Levi being removed from that picture, Levi, who can kind of rotationally split out to a heavy edge spot at times, this is going to pave the way now more for Tyleek Williams to get a lot more reps throughout the duration of the season. Big Z, bring back old Big Zadarius Smith. I seen on Instagram on the Woodward Sports announcement of our boy here, Levi Onwuzurike, getting hurt, and that was a lot of people wanted Zadarius Smith to come back. My only question is why? Why Zadarius Smith? What's Big Z going to do? What's Big Z going to do? They play two entirely different positions. Big Z is, at this point in his career, if you look at his snaps last year, is exclusively a third down pass rush specialist, plays on the wide side of the end. And Levi Onwuzurike, also a pass rush specialist statistically, but more of a defensive tackle, heavier and less mobile. So I don't understand what the comp is there for. And we still have 152 defensive linemen on roster heading into camp. And then the last option also is 0% of the point vote. Not even going to miss him. I would lead into Tyleek going to go ham. I'm a big fan of Ahmed Hassanin. Stepping up, stealing some reps, maybe moving a Josh Paschal down interior a little bit more. His big fat ass can eat up a little bit more of a guard tackle instead of a tackle tight end type of ability. Maybe go with more of a fast package, if it were. But Tyleek Williams is going to go ham. Everything's coming up Tyleek as it is right now. Then we're going to go ahead and roll over to just a brief news that popped up. A little bit disappointing. Lions cut with promising rookie running back just days before training camp. Friend of the show, our buddy Martin, is also friends with Anthony Tyus. Knows him from way back when. They kind of grew up together, went to church together, whatever. He's a product here of Portage Northern, I believe is where I seen. But unfortunately, the Lions will be moving on from Anthony Tyus, which is unfortunate. We were kind of rooting for our guy, but we'll talk briefly about that. And then some training camp news. We're going to be go ahead and looking at Lions training camp day 1. Taylor Decker and Josh Paschal updates. Some good news on the Lions injury front when it comes to Taylor Decker and Josh Paschal. We will briefly talk about Alex Anelzone showing up to camp but not practicing, and Enos Rakestraw getting a little bit of a ding-a-ling-ding-ding-ding-a-redo on his chest. Maybe is Enos Rakestraw going to be the next Levi Onwuzurike and just shows all this promise in college and splashes and flashes on the screen, but just cannot stay healthy. So does Enos follow the same route? Are we seeing Enos start to get that little bit of an injury-prone tag thrown on him? That could be as well. But we'll poke around there. Obviously, training camp opened up, so we're going to be starting having more of a hard pipeline of news coming out day to day. This week's going to be a little bit shorter. Wednesday, got some appointments, some stuff to do. So we're going to be not having a show on Wednesday. We're going to be running Monday and Tuesday this week. And then do not forget, guys, next week, we go 5 days a week. Next week, preseason week 1 for the Detroit Lions. Next week, we go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Now, for those of you who are new to the show and you're like, boy, how do I know when you're going to go live? Well, that's pretty simple. Just go ahead and do a barrel roll on over to that notification button. Ring that bell so you know every time that we go live, you'll get a push notification on your phone. All you got to do is push that song gun. You press that song gun, it's going to take you right to the Hat and Beard Show live. All right? Now, while you're over at the Hat and Beard Show live, like right now, we're going to do a little practice for it. Go ahead and just take your finger or cursor and go ahead and click that like button. There you go. Yep, like the button. Costs you nothing. Feels great. Doesn't it feel great to hit that like button? And subscribe to the channel because we are climbing ever so regardless, we are getting closer and closer to 700 subscribers, and I appreciate each and every one of you for helping us grow like that. It is because of you guys doing yeoman's work and the heavy lifting that we're growing so exponentially. If it wasn't for the chat, you guys sharing this video around, which is the number one thing you can do, share this video around. Look, don't worry about screwing up your well-manicured and heavily groomed social media presence. Just copy the link down on your clipboard. You don't have to share this around with Nana. She doesn't need to know that you're a fan of the Hat and Beard Show. But if she looks anything like Mary Berry or Sheila Ford, go ahead and send her my way. That's my type of lady right there. So now that you have liked, shared, commented down below in the chat, good morning, everybody. Looks like everybody's here so far. You can smell what the rock is cooking. Mr. Detroit City hitting it hard and heavy. Brent, do it. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, Levi, dude, that's when I seen that, Brent, I was like, big surprise, right? Big surprise. Morning, Jeanette. How you doing? Go back to the Redskins. I agree. Always be Redskins to me. Stupid ever change the name in the first place. Brent, you're nailing it, dude. And everybody's agreeing with Brent on that one. Heck yeah. Is Davenport mentoring Breakstraw? Damn, Brent, that is a good one, dude. Enos Breakstraw. Ain't that the truth, dude? So yeah, not only does Levi fall, but it's just let's be real. Should I put like a clock, like a countdown, or just start a timer of when Marcus Davenport's going to end up being done for the year? Should we just start a countdown now? Yeah, dude. So we got some injury news, but hopefully things aren't as serious. Obviously, Levi, but whatever. So now that you guys done all this stuff, let's get into the show.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
All right, boys and girls, we're going to go ahead and go to usatoday.com. Going to put on our grown-up pants and talk about national news. Trump threatens the Washington Commanders stadium plans if franchise doesn't change name. The Washington Commanders have had a busy offseason. They've traded for left tackle Jeremy Gasmask Tunsil and wide receiver Debo breaking out, going to get older as the days go by, Samuel, to bolster one of the top offenses in the NFL from a year ago. On defense, they added decorated pass rusher Von Miller in free agency. There's been news off the field as well, with the franchise announcing plans to build a new stadium in Washington, D.C. The franchise hopes to build on the site of RFK Memorial Stadium, where the team played from 1961 to 1996, and is 2 miles east of the U.S. Capitol building. Washington may be facing a challenge as well from the highest-ranking elected official in the country. President Donald Trump posted on Truth Social that he may restrict the team from building on the RFK Stadium site if it doesn't change its name. Quote, I may put restrictions on them if they don't change the name back to the original Washington name and get rid of the ridiculous moniker Washington Commanders. I won't make a deal for a build at a stadium in Washington. No deal. No deal. He says no deal. Too many people are calling you commies. Too many people are calling you commies. I won't have commies that close to the Capitol. It's bad enough that we got AOC in here running wild. We don't need a whole franchise of them. He continued, the team would be much more valuable and the deal would be more exciting for everyone. Quote, that's what he, end quote. He went on to state that the Cleveland Guardians should do the same and change the franchise name back to its former name. And I agree because, look, dude, I know it's going to sound silly, but just because of how long the Cleveland Indians were the Cleveland Indians, how long the Washington Redskins were the Washington Redskins, the name Guardians, the name Commanders feels so Bush League. Like, yeah, that's the name you expect to throw on your created team in Madden or NCAA, or that's what you expect a UFL team to be called, the Commanders. Come on, dude. It's so whack, dude. Commanders is such a whack name, dude, for real. Like, just go back to the Washington Redskins, you know. I mean, even if you don't want to have the actual logo of the Redskin, you know, the head, if you want to get away from that. Didn't they used to have a spear at one point? Didn't they try and transition away from that kind of when they went more burgundy and gold back when Ryan Kerrigan was playing for him, I feel like, something like that. Washington also faces some question marks with getting that deal with Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser needing to get approval from the D.C. Council. Quote, I would put my level of concern because when you're a big city mayor, you're concerned about everything. I'll put that to be about a 4 out of 5, Bowser said earlier this month. Oh, what the fuck did I just... Sorry, swearing. Sorry, YouTube. Washington started out as the Boston Braves back in 1932 before changing its name in 1933. What do I keep clicking on? Okay, now let's try this. Okay. The franchise kept its now former name when it relocated from Boston to Washington, D.C. in 1937, and it remained for decades. Okay, did I get past any clickable links? Okay, I'm going to close that window. All right, so far so good. In July of 2020, The franchise dropped the name and logo. Quote, "We are announcing we will be retiring the former name and logo upon completion of this review," the team said in a statement. At the time, and the team officials were, quote, "working closely to develop a new name and design approach that will enhance the standing of our proud, tradition-rich franchise and inspire our sponsors, fans, and community for the next 100 years. Translation, dude, what do I keep clicking on? What the? Am I special? Am I a special boy? I must be a special boy. I must be a special boy. The long and short of this quote right here is, we caved to the woke online mob, which statistically isn't anybody really. It's just a bunch of bots yelling at one another, and felt that if we bent the knee to the DEI powers that be, they felt that if they just sucked on the DEI teat, that the valve of money would just open and flow. But it didn't, because get woke, go broke. It's damn near as as strong as a rule as for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. You know what I'm saying? So they went woke. They ended up broke, and now because public backlash and the reality of the situation that it wasn't an offensive name, it blew up in their face, and they're going to be going back to it. The franchise went by the name Washington Football Team for the 2020 and 21 NFL season before rebranding as the Washington Commanders. It just feels gross to say, dude, ahead of the 2022 season. This isn't the first time Trump voiced his dislike for the Commanders name. When asked about the stadium plans earlier in July, Trump said he wouldn't have changed the name in the first place. Quote, it just doesn't have the same ring to me, he said. But, you know, winning can make everything sound good. That's true. Winning is the best deodorant. So if they win, all of a sudden the Commanders sounds good, but I wouldn't have changed the name. That is the most Trumpian line ever. Just repeating, and I wouldn't have changed. It's a very Trumpian line right there. A new stadium was one of the top priorities of the Commanders' new ownership group, led by Josh Harris. The group finished a deal to buy the team in May of 23 and are hoping to finish construction by the 2030 NFL season. In the meantime, the team would continue playing at its home games at FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland. The team has not released a statement in response to Trump's comments at the time of publishing. So some people will be like, okay. On the surface, people are going to go, see, I told you he's a fascist. Ah! No, dude, he's just being like, hey, statistically speaking, Trump has his finger on the pulse of the majority of the American populace. He kind of knows what the majority of Americans want. And Washington Commanders name, it's so gay. It's just so gay. It's such a fucking gay name. Go back to the Redskins. He knows that that's what they want. Give the people what they want. Give the people what they want. They want deportations, lower taxes, cheaper energy, and the Commanders to change their name back to the Redskins. And they wanted the release of a certain list, but that's never going to happen. What list? What are you talking about? What? Are you still talking about that? Are you still talking? Nobody cares about that. Hey, what's up, Ryan Allen? Good morning, brother. How you doing, man? What's good? The noun seems like a AAA baseball team. Exactly, Jeanette. That's exactly it. 100%. Sounds like a AAA baseball team. It just sounds so Bush League, dude. The Commanders. The Commanders. All right, guys, if you haven't already, would you kindly subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell, all the stuff. Like the video, share it around. There's a good chunk of you guys hanging out in the live viewership. Up in the poll, we got 6 votes. Walking away with it, 67% Tyreek. You guys think Tyreek is going to benefit the most and steps up with Levi done for the 25 season? I don't think you're wrong. I myself would vote for Ahmed Hassanin, the rook from Boise State, just because I'm hoping for that awesome story. That awesome story of a late round kid, raw talent from Egypt. You know what I mean? This is like that like chasing the American dream. And he seems like such a stand-up guy, such an absolutely stand-up guy. I'll make you a deal. Stop talking about Jepstein, and I'll bring back the Redskins. Dude, for real, Ryan, you ain't wrong, dude. Like, you ain't even wrong, man. It's like, do you think do you think he tried to slide that into the triple B? All right, guys, let's go ahead and walk on over to NFL.com. Lions defensive line to Levi Onwuzurike to miss the 2025 NFL season due to ACL injury. Levi Onwuzurike injured. Tell me if you've heard that story before. The Lions just got a bite from the injury bug with training camp underway. Not the best of omens. What can we do? What did somebody do that has brought on the... This better not be how the season's going to go, fellas. This better not be how the season's going to go. We can't... The injury bug cannot be jumping up this early on in camp. Or get it up, get it out, and get it over with, and then we're healthy for the rest of the season. Detroit Lions defensive line Levi Onwuzurike will miss the 25 season to having ACL injury surgery. Head coach Dan Campbell told reporters on Sunday, quote, "Let me start with Levi. Levi is out for the year." Boom. Campbell said Levi's surgery was significant, but it needed to be done. It's out of his control, and it needed to be done, so he will miss the season. My question is, did this happen during camp, or is this something that has been known? How and when did this ACL surgery need all of a sudden to be decided on days before training camp? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm curious about. Onwuzurike is 27 years old, appeared in 16 games for the Lions in 2024. He recorded 13 hits, 28 tackles, a sack and a half, and 1 tackle for loss. He ranked top 15 in pressures and pass rush win rate among interior defensive linemen with a minimum of 125 pass rush attempts per PFF, which is pretty good. I mean, he is a good pass rusher when he's healthy. Decent pass rusher, I should say. On Thursday, the Lions placed Onwuzurike on the reserve physically unable to perform list. A few days later, Campbell ruled out the veteran DT for the rest of the 25 season. The loss of Onwuzurike is a major blow for the defense that is expected to have Hutch back after the star missed, yes, because of the broken tib fib, and veteran Lee McNeil recovering from yep, he's also on the PUP list. Campbell also said offensive tackle Taylor Decker, who has a shoulder injury, is expected to be back with the team after the Hall of Fame game next Thursday against the Los Angeles Chargers. With the loss of Onwuzurike, Detroit will lean on first-round pick Tyleek the Freak Williams, 6th-round selection Ahmed Hassanin. No, we will not rely on Broderick Martin. Broderick Martin better just start packing up his shit and getting out of town, and DJ Reader and others to fill in. Why we're relying on DJ Reader to fill in for Levi Onwuzurike when DJ Reader is actually the starter, I do not understand. But does anybody know? Hey, chat, hit me up down here in the chat. What's going on? Can't wait to see our Egyptian lion in action. Brent, you and me are on this Ahmed Hassanin train, dude. Art, good morning, Art. How you doing, brother? Good time to see you, dude. We need to either re-sign Onzo or trade him. This latest hamstring injury is not a game we want to play this year. They apparently did some cleanup work on Leo's knee and discovered. Oh, gotcha. Thanks for clearing that up, Art. All right, guys. So it's cleared up here. So Levi was having some cleanup kind of maintenance surgery, and getting in there doing them PMs, they noticed that this little leaky loo was way worse than we thought it was going to be, and ended up being a season end. So that's wickedly unfortunate, man. Okay, that really sucks. So it was really nothing he did. That just really sucks. Okay, all right. So I will make jokes about Levi Onwuzurike getting hurt again. Big fucking surprise. Another player that we shouldn't have spent money on is going to miss a whole season, and basically his career is going to be over. But apparently we didn't know, and that really, really fucking sucks. That really sucks, because imagine the headspace he was in, where he was like, let's go America, let's go Mr. Detroit City, where he was like, all right, I'm going to go in, going to have this cleanup surgery, and gonna have this cleanup. Sorry, I'm looking stuff up real quick. Gonna have some cleanup surgery. Gonna fucking get back at it. Maybe really make a push to get into. Oh, what the fuck, dude! All right, I'm done talking about Levi Onwuzurike. Damn, Art, you ain't playing. Breaking news, guys. Alex Anzalone dealing with a hamstring injury. This is coming out 2 hours ago from Jeremy Reisman. Dan Campbell once again dispels the rumors that Anzalone is holding out, clarifying it's a hamstring that's keeping him out of practice. All right. Well, that sucks. Lions coach Dan Campbell cleared any confusion while Anzalone crushed the conditioning test earlier this week. Campbell revealed the veteran defender is currently dealing with a hamstring injury. I don't see him practicing Monday. I don't. It's a hamstring injury. Fuck, dude. Hamstring injuries in training camp are the worst fucking bullshit. All right, guys, we have absolute breaking news here. Now, some might say, is this actually an injury, or is Alex Anzalone trying to play 4D chess with the Detroit Lions, saying that he's a hamstring injury? He's clearly at practice, and if he crushed the PT test earlier in the week, what caused a hamstring injury? Now, did the PT test cause a hamstring injury? If so, you need to move on from Alex Anzalone. This more or less confirms that Anzalone is not voluntarily missing practices as a sit-in protest for not having a new contract. It's no secret that Anzalone would like a new deal entering the final year of his 3-year, $18.75 million contract signed in 2023. But on Sunday, Campbell felt certain Anzalone wasn't the type of player to sit out on his own accord. No way, right? I refuse to believe that. I refuse to believe it, Campbell said. Practicing in Anzalone's place on Sunday was veteran linebacker Zach Cunningham, who was signed as a free agent back in May, which I actually really like that sneaky signing. Zach Cunningham, I think, is a perfect insurance option, especially with Rodrigo still being on the PUP list. You know what I'm saying? Campbell said he was already impressed by Cunningham's natural movement and the veteran presence of his practices in the spring. He's played in the league. He's a good athlete. He's pretty instinctive. He's a smart guy. In addition, Anzalone, Campbell also announced Al-Qadin Muhammad is not expected to practice on Monday. However, and linebacker Anthony Pittman is expected to return to the field after missing the opening practice on Sunday. Shit the bed, Fred. That's not what we like to hear. Let's watch this video about Levi Onwuzurike here.
You touched on this a little bit. They did receive some bad news regarding their defensive line. What more can you tell us, Ian?
Yeah, training camp barely even started. The Detroit Lions already lost one of their starting defenders for the season. Levi Onwuzurike, who signed a one-year, $4 million deal this past offseason with the Detroit Lions, was expected to be counted on in the middle of that defense.
What's up, Chase? Good morning, brother. Good to see you, man. Go crush it in your work meeting, dude. Go plop your dick on the table and show him who the boss is, brother.
Be disruptive as he always has been throughout his career. Suffered a torn ACL and is now out for the season. Dan Campbell clarified today
that sucks.
That based on the timing, there's no chance he is able to return at any point in the postseason. So he is now for sure out for the season. Injury
which means
suffered,
his career's done.
About a month and a half ago. Had surgery. Didn't seem originally like it was going to be something that would knock him out for the season. They found the ACL tear. He is now out, leaving the Lions a big hole in their defense.
We do not have that big of a hole in our defense with Levi Onwuzurike going out. That's bullshit. That's just Ian Rappaport blowing smoke up everyone's ass right there. That's bullshit. I do not like that Alex Anzalone news, though. I agree with Jeanette Hall. Hard to get a new contract when you have especially so them hamstring injuries, guys. Hamstring injuries in training camp will hamper a whole player's the whole season. Art Vanderlei, I want Onzo to stay because he's the vet we need, especially with Shepard being a first-year DC. We need another big brain out there. And let's be real, Anzalone is a leader on the defense, and he will make the transition from what Aaron Glenn was trying to accomplish to what I feel is probably going to be a more aggressive style of defense out of Calvin Shepard. And we're going to need Anzalone's leadership. Leadership be damned, though, if the guy can't move around the field with a fucked-up hamstring. I mean, at what point are you being more of a detriment than you are an asset on the field? Especially if Cunningham's crushing it in camp. If Cunningham's crushing it in camp, or Barnes really starts to just continue where he left off before the injury last year, I don't know, man. Big hole in a fat ass, exactly, dude. We left a Mr. Detroit City. Are you saying that they left a big gaping hole in our wide fat ass of a defense, and who's gonna fill that big old hole? Ahmed Hassanin, that's who. Let's watch this. Whoops.
The biggest impact, and does he sport a mullet?
Oh, he does sport a mullet, a nice looking mullet. Tate Ratledge.
All right, so this is which rookie is set to make the biggest impact for the Lions. Probably going to be Ratledge because Ratledge is probably going to get the most. Oh, he did sign his contract, by the way, guys. Tate Ratledge over the weekend did sign his contract. All right, so he's under contract with the Detroit Lions. He's in camp now, going to be doing everything he needs to do. Probably will have the most impact simply because of the amount of reps and play time he's going to get and the amount of high value reps that he's going to get. He's going to have a rock star, a star-studded all-star. How many times can I say the word star? Offensive line around him to support him so that he has the most the highest ceiling, I think, of all of our rookies. But who could make the biggest impact, I think, will be one of either Ahmed Hassanin, Tyleek the Freak Williams, or dark horse candidate Isaac Tesla.
Coming from Georgia, being able to step in for Frank Ragnow. The Lions offensive line is going under a little bit of a makeover. Has some older guys depart.
Look at his base. Look at his base.
And Miles Frazier, both guys who have opportunities to play. And the thing that we know about the Detroit Lions, for all the glitz and glamour, the flash, the pizzazz that was their offense,
look at that.
Really, they're a blue-collar unit
Oh, my
that
God. Look how
relies on the
fast his
offensive
feet
line
are.
to set the tone. And as long as Ratledge is able to step in there, man the pivot, make sure all the protections are solid, but also give them some of that attitude in the running game, the Detroit Lions are going to be the Detroit Lions.
I like how they're showing
They're going
Miles
to bully
Frazier
people at the
now.
point of attack. They're going to throw the ball all over the yard, and they're going to light up.
They're showing
scoreboards,
Miles
but
Frazier.
It starts with the offensive line, which is why I like Ratledge and even Miles Frazier to come in and contribute.
All right, I'm going to go a little bit off track here and say the two rookies that I am looking forward to are the new coordinators now in Detroit. Now, John Morton is not technically a rookie offensive coordinator. He was an offensive coordinator for one season with the New York Jets. He had nowhere near the level of talent that he's inheriting with the Detroit Lions. And Kelvin Shepard, who is a rookie defensive coordinator. They are replacing two guys who went on to become head coaches in the NFL. Huge expectations for that team. Huge pressure on that team to stay at the level that they were at. I am looking forward to seeing how these two coordinators perform this year.
I think that's a cop-out. That's a cop-out. I'm looking for the coordinators. Fuck off.
Good answer, Judy. You got those creative juices flowing. That's what you get this time of year. Once we get into the season, that stuff all gets beaten down. You're just trying to survive. But right now, a creative answer.
That's a cop-out answer. All right, what do we got? Art Vandelay, I assume Anzo wants more than what Barnes signed for, which is not going to happen. But any ideas on what we could give him to stay? No idea. I have no idea. What do you think the market value for Alex Anzalone would be? Definitely not what Derek Barnes signed for. Derek Barnes is a lot younger. I think Derek Barnes has more upside for longer than Alex Anzalone does. Let's see, what did Barnes get? Let's go ahead and look this up. Guys, we are going to run a little late today. I am on vacation this week. Oh, come on, guys. Hey, can I get a big shout out in the chat? It's Hat and Boob's birthday today, guys. It's Hat and Boob's birthday today. So we're on vacation. We're just chilling today. It's her birthday today, guys. So just give her a big what's up. You know what I mean? If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for Hat and Boob's birthday. That's what's up. So, Derek Barnes contract. It's over at Sport Track. Don't lag out on me now, baby. Don't lag out on me now, baby. All right. What's the overall? So he's making 2.5 this year. Dude, he's not even really making that much. An average salary, 3-year, $24 million, an average of 8, signing bonus of 6, guaranteed at signing, total $16 million in guarantees. Looks like we got the dead years? Oh, yeah. Oh, there it is. There's the void years. There's those void years. Boom. Look at that. There's those void years. You guys remember how we talked about those void years last year? You know what I'm saying? $25 million with $16 million guaranteed. Yeah. But see, they got those void years spread out. So it's only hitting us this year, 2.5. Next year, so 26 and 27 is where Derek Barnes' contract really hits us. But we could get out after the 26-year deal. Holy shit. All right, we could get out after the 2026 year. Fuck yeah, that's what's up, guys. All right, so Barnes really isn't, when you actually look at the math, it's not that much. It's only $2.5 million a year. I don't think I don't think we really need to pay that much for Alex Anzalone if you want to actually compare the dollars to Derek Barnes. When you look at the void years, see how we spread it out over the void years? You guys remember how we talked about that? How it's a flat surface instead of a vertical line or a vertical bar graft? Check it out. So if we can get Alex Anzalone, who's going to be turning 31 in September, for 2 years, hit him with a 2-year extension, comparable to Derek Barnes, so 2 years, call it 18 million. Love Anzo, but it's hard to justify contract. Maybe 2 years. So, okay, see, Art, I'm in the same wheelhouse as you, dude. A 2-year, $16 million. Hit him with the void years at the back end. You can get out incentive base with $2.5 to $3 million a year. That's not a bad deal. That's not that's actually pretty slick. You know, you have him under contract. You hit him with a 2-year that put him at 33. With a 2 years under contract, 33. He's with an opt out after that. Within 2 void years, you evenly space out the money. Hell yeah. Art, I like where you're at with the 2 years, 16. I'd go 2 years high as 18. I would go as high as $18 million 2-year extension for Alex Anzalone, but I wouldn't exceed that. I would not exceed that. Not at all. Not at all, boys and girls. Happy birthday, Hat and Boobs. Hell yeah, my brother's was on the 19th. That's what's up, Mr. Detroit City. Hey guys, I know she appreciates it. Thanks for all the love in the comments. That's what's up, y'all. That's what's up. That is what's up. Hey, you seeing all that, babe? She's downstairs. I think she's watching. I'm not 100%, but let's hope. Let's hope. that sounded fucking pathetic. Let's hope. If you guys haven't already, comment, subscribe, share, like, do all of the things. Let's get some Lions training camp news. Lions training camp day 1 injury report. Taylor Decker and Josh Paschal. Imagine that, Josh Paschal hurt. Some good news on the injury up yesterday. Uh-oh. There we go. Sorry, guys. OBS is kind of cutting in and out just a wee little tiny bit there. It's just cutting in and out just a wee tiny little bit there. The Detroit Lions took the field for the first training camp session of the year. And unfortunately, there were several players sitting out due to injury. And one player who suffered an injury that shortened his day. Some of these injuries were expected. Others weren't. But we got plenty of updates from Coach Motor City Dan Campbell on what to expect for many of these players. Here's a full list of the players not participating in practice and updates provided by the team. So you guys will hear us say PUP list. If you guys are unfamiliar, when we say PUP, P-U-P, that is the physically unable to perform list. That think of it as they need some blue chew to get into practice. Taylor Decker, Miles Frazier, which sucks. That really sucks. Aleem McNeil, we are not surprised about that. Mekhi Wingo, don't need him missing reps, especially now with old dipshit injured. Malcolm Rodriguez and Khalil Dorsey expected to be out. While 6 of these players remain sidelined, we spotted everyone but Wingo outside observing practice at one point or another. The best news of the bunch was what Campbell said. He expected starting left tackle Taylor Decker to rejoin practice right around their first preseason game in just over a week. Quote, "We feel like there's a good chance that we can get Deck back after the Hall of Fame game," Campbell said. "He's good. He had cleaned out the shoulder a little bit that we were going to work him back in when he's ready to go. Get the strength back, but he's in a good place," end quote. We didn't direct updates on anyone else from the list, but most of these injuries are not particularly surprising. As you may remember, you guys will recall that Aleem McNeil tore his ACL in December and is expected to miss regular season time. Don't expect to see him back until mid-season. Mekhi Wingo tore his meniscus, got surgery, and was hopeful to be ready for the start of training camp back in January. We remember Malcolm Rodriguez tore his ACL on Thanksgiving, and Campbell said conservatively estimated on a November return. So that could be earlier, but I'm basically not holding my breath on Rodrigo or Aleem the Dream to come back before Thanksgiving. Khalil Dorsey also broke his tib fib in December. He was walking around in good spirits during Sunday's practice. Back in January, Dorsey told the Detroit Free Press that doctors gave him 4 to 6 month recovery timeline. As for rookie Miles Frazier, the nature of his injury is currently unknown. That's giving shades of Christian Mahogany. It's giving feelings of Christian Mahogany. Physically unable to return reserve, and that is Levi Onwuzurike. He's going to be, we said, out for the entire year after having ACL injury. surgery. Non-football injury list: Josh Paschal and cornerback Stanley Thomas Oliver. Campbell offered an update on Paschal, and it sounds like he'll be ready right around the start of the season, possibly a little later. Paschal will be back just a tick longer than Decker, probably early September, Campbell said. Labor Day, maybe we can start working him into practice. That's the plans right now, and that's not good for the Detroit Lions. Josh Paschal, it's time for you, my friend. Josh Paschal, my friend, please listen to me. It is time to shit or get off the pot, dude. And heading into camp, missing time, not being him and missing time doesn't bode well, my friend. It's unclear what specifically Paschal is dealing with, but Campbell noted that he'd clean out surgeries similar to Decker. Not injury list, but didn't practice: Al-Qadim Muhammad, Alex Anelzone, and Anthony Pittman. Campbell said that all three players passed conditioning tests, but was a little more cagey with why they didn't practice, particularly as it pertains to Anelzone. Campbell insisted this was not a sit-in holdout for his contract situation, instead noting this about the three players. Just a couple of things. We got to make sure that they're good injury-wise, Campbell said. After practice, Pittman told the Pride of Detroit he expects to practice on Monday. Anelzone was not seen at practice. Injury during practice: Enos the Penis Breakstraw. Rakestraw suffered a chest injury around the midway point of the season during an 11-on-11 drill. He was escorted off the field by a trainer who helped support his upper body. At this point, the severity of the injury is unknown, but he did not return to practice. So that does not bode well for Enos Breakstraw. And Anelzone, hamstring injury, not so good. Not such a good thing. Not a good thing to be heading into training camp with a hamstring injury, if that's really the situation. You know, on the upside, I guess you could say that it's better than, say, you know, Gibbs or Waymo or St. Brown, one of your skilled position guys, one of your high-value offensive assets, having a hamstring injury. Knock on wood. But still not something you really want, the leader of your defense. And hopefully this isn't him just fiddle-farting around with contract stuff. And I don't know, man. The hamstring thing just fucking does not let me feel very, very good about the entire situation. It just hamstrings, soft tissue injuries before camp are season cripplers, dude. They will cripple a whole season. And unfortunately, if it really is a hamstring injury and he does play trying to get a contract, this is going to take dollars off his contract. So we'll see. All right, guys. We got one more thing here. We're going to run a little late. I got a 20-minute video here pulled up for you guys. You guys want to watch this? We're going to watch this. But we're going to take a look at the poll here. 7 votes. One of you guys changing the sway of things. Bring back Big Z, huh? All right. Well, 57% of you think Tyleek the Freak is going to go ham. And 29% of you say the Rook from Boise State, our guy Ahmed Hassanin, is going to be the big step-up guy in replacement of Levi Onwuzurike. And let's be real, it's a matter of time until Davenhart goes down. Paschal going to miss time at camp, not bode well for him. So we're just slowly seeing more and more pathways to success for these high motor rookies that we got. Obviously, Tyleek is a first-round pick. He has the easiest path to success with Aleem missing time, with Reeder being older, with now Levi Onwuzurike being done for the entire season. Ahmed Hassanin now needs to step up in replacement of, there will be an injury, ultimately, more or less, probably, to Marcus Davenport. They're probably not bringing back Big Z. Josh Paschal now is going to miss chunks of time. Al-Qadim Muhammad missing reps in training camp. This is now the time for Hassanin to emerge as that guy. What are we doing down in the chat? Ahmed has Jesus on his side. He's my pick. He's a stud. I agree with you, Mr. Detroit City. Hammies tend to stay around way too long. That's 100% Brett. You are nailing it. Hat and Beard fangirl. Thanks for the happy birthday wishes, everyone. Hell yeah, babe. Happy birthday. We're going to go get a little bit of lunch here after we wrap up the show. I'm going to run down, grab a shower, and then go get a little bit of lunch and just kind of chill. And she requested grilled chicken. She likes it when I grill chicken. She likes it when I grill meat. She likes the way I handle my meat. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys haven't already, comment, like, share, subscribe, notification bell, all that stuff. Look, I stumbled across this video. And if there's music in it, I might get copyrighted. I will admit I didn't get copyrighted watching Brett Coleman's video with Dire Straits in it. But I don't know this content creator. I think it's another sports. Yep, so it's called Another Sports Channel. All right. And this video I watched, it came out 2 days ago, how one game changed Jared Goff's career forever. And I'm not going to lie, fellas, watching this kind of I think Jared Goff might be my new favorite Lion. You know what I'm saying? I'm testing on the test screen to see how it looks big screen-wise. We're going to go back to theater mode. All right, so this is how one game changed Jared Goff's career forever. This might make you feel a certain way about Jared Goff.
So, January 14th, 2024. Ford Field is electric.
It's a night Detroit, Michigan has been waiting 3 decades to enjoy. Tonight, inside Ford Field, it's the first home playoff game since 1994 for the NFC North champion, Detroit Lions.
The Detroit Lions, a team synonymous with heartbreak, are hosting a playoff game against the Los Angeles Rams. And at the center of it all, 2 quarterbacks who traded lives. Jared Goff versus Matthew Stafford.
You would be hard-pressed to find a game with a better plot than this one. The first matchup in NFL postseason history between quarterbacks facing their former teams.
For Detroit fans, this isn't just another playoff game. It's a cosmic reckoning.
It was actually the first time former number 1 overall pick quarterbacks were facing each other against their original teams. So it gets even more niche than former quarterbacks facing each other's teams. They were both number 1 overall picks.
A chance to cleanse decades of disappointment. 32 years. Yes, 32 years since they last won a playoff game. Back in 1992 against the Dallas Cowboys. Since then, the Lions have been the NFL's punching line, a running joke. Those same old Lions.
You know, people now are actually taking a serious look nationally at what is systemically wrong with this organization.
Meanwhile, Matthew Stafford, the face of Detroit's franchise for over a decade, is standing on the opposite sideline. The same Stafford who was traded away in 2021, shipped to LA to chase a ring, and chase it he did, winning the Super Bowl in his first year away.
With the script right out of Hollywood, the star-studded Los Angeles Rams.
Even with a Super Bowl ring, does Matt Stafford get into the Hall of Fame? I don't think Matt Stafford has done enough to get into the Hall of Fame. I think he's a good quarterback that won a Super Bowl. But he doesn't just, I don't think he's got enough numbers. I don't think he's got enough accolades to justify him getting in the Hall of Fame.
Are a hit. They have won Super Bowl 56.
Matt Stafford will have a better road to getting into the Hall of Fame when Jared Goff wins a Super Bowl in Detroit, because of how Matt Stafford's story will be intertwined with Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions forever. When the Detroit Lions win a Super Bowl this year, 59-0 against the Buffalo Bills, that will open up the avenue for Matthew Stafford to get into the Hall of Fame more so than where his career sits at right now. So Matt Stafford needs to be rooting for the Lions to win a Super Bowl so that his story can be tied to Jared Goff's.
In dramatic come-from-behind fashion. Wow!
In Detroit, they were proud, but hurt.
We saw Matthew Stafford lead 34 fourth-quarter comeback drives during his time with the Lions, Brian. So as the Rams drove down the field in Super Bowl 56, it was familiar to all of us in Michigan. The magnitude of the win, though, completely foreign to us here. Seeing that feeling at the Super Bowl, that's what led Stafford to leave in the first place.
However, tonight, Jared Goff, the so-called throw-in of that blockbuster trade, has a chance to reclaim Detroit's pride and maybe, just maybe, become more than a placeholder. But to really understand this moment, we have to go back to the night that changed everything.
Breaking news here on CBS Sports HQ, and it is monster news. A blockbuster trade in the NFL.
When this trade happened, I'm not going to lie, at first it blew my fucking mind. I didn't know what to think, man.
Detroit is dealing Matthew Stafford to the LA Rams in exchange for 2 future first-round picks, a third-round pick, and Jared Goff.
Well, Adam Schefter had the news first. Adam, talk about this trade. Did it happen quickly? What did you know about it as the day progressed on Saturday?
John, the Rams had been working on this for a few days now, and the Detroit Lions really wanted to get this done and resolved as soon as possible. And there were other teams involved in the process as well, but it quickly became apparent that the Los Angeles Rams wanted Matthew Stafford as badly as Matthew Stafford wanted them.
These are two former number 1 overall picks.
Also, Jared Goff stooped Sean McVay's wife. Sean McVay's.
Trading places in an absolutely blockbuster trade that shakes things up both in Detroit and in LA.
Goff was coming off a fractured relationship with Sean McVay in LA. Once the darling of the 2016 draft, the first overall pick who helped lead the Rams to a Super Bowl, Goff had become expendable.
Just a few years ago, he had them in the Super Bowl. So where is he right now?
Yeah, look, I think he's still like starting quarterback caliber player in the National Football League, but I think he's one of these players that things probably have to be really good around him to enjoy the type of success that he did in that Super Bowl run. I think it was kind of a poorly kept secret that Sean McVay wasn't necessarily in love with Jared Goff as his quarterback.
In Detroit, fans were understanding yet devastated to lose Stafford. The tough, loyal warrior who played through injuries and gave them countless sterling finishes, even if they never amounted to playoff glory.
Account for shit, though.
But in Goff, most saw a stopgap, a bridge quarterback, a placeholder until the Lions found their real quarterback. So, Goff arrived with baggage, questions about his leadership, his decision-making, his toughness. Detroit wasn't exactly an ideal place for a reclamation project. The team had just hired a new head coach, Dan Campbell, known for more biting kneecaps than drawing up brilliant offensive schemes.
Do you think Lions fans should be excited or concerned about their new?
People talk so much shit about Dan Campbell. People talk so much shit about Dan Campbell. Didn't like the trade when it happened, but Goff slowly won me over with his play. Love the player. Love when players prove me wrong. Exactly, Brent, dude. Like, that first year with Goff was so fucking hard to watch, dude. He kept rolling out to his blind side and getting sacked. Every time he'd roll backwards around in the pocket and do his J run, it just, you knew something bad was going to happen. It was rough, but he just slowly just fucking ice water in his veins, man.
If I'm a Lions fan, I'm concerned. I liked what Bieniemy had to say about not getting a job better than what Campbell said. We're going to bite off their knee. I see what Campbell thinks he's trying to get across. But listen, you see from the introductory press conferences sometimes we're like, uh-oh.
The rebuild was on.
Max Kellerman couldn't have been any more wrong.
But it looked like a long, painful road.
It is great to have you with us. The Lions, new front office, new coaching staff, and today they take on the San Francisco 49ers.
First down, just shy of the San Francisco 40.
Jay Willie.
Off play action pocket.
Toss, and down he goes. Kentavious Street.
This is for an NFL record 66 yards. On its way. It bounces off the crossbar, and it's good. Oh my goodness. Did that just happen, Greg?
Week 7 of the National Football League, and the Lions are on the road, getting set to play in a game that, quite frankly, we've been talking about for 8 months. Where the Lions made a trade, sending Matthew Stafford to Los Angeles, bringing back Jared Goff, multiple draft picks. It's here. We're ready to roll.
Make sure to comment and share and all that stuff, because I'm going to get copyrighted on this song, I think.
2nd and 10. Goff hit as he throws for the end zone. Intercepted. Jalen Ramsey with the pick at the goal line. Ramsey out of bounds. Shy of the 20. The Lions put up a fight, but at the end of the day, the win belongs to Matthew Stafford. He and Jared Goff with a little love for one another at the end of the day.
God, that was a rough
That
year.
2021 season was a test of endurance for Lions fans. Detroit stumbled to a 3-13-1 record. Goff, he looked like a broken man at times, battling injuries and inconsistency. His mechanics were shaky and the offense
that right there, that stupid rollout. Oh, I used to hate that.
Were shaky
Right
and the
there.
offense often sputtered. At the time, Dan Campbell's culture was a curiosity. He showed passion at press conferences, spoke openly about pain, and embodied Detroit's underdog spirit.
When you see your players give all that they have and you lose that way, it's tough. You know, you don't want that for them. So,
amid all the wreckage, though, there were.
I ain't gonna lie, real quick. Yo, Dan Campbell's gotten so much bigger since being in Detroit. Look how little Dan Campbell is. He's fucking huge now compared to then. Holy shit.
So,
He's so much bigger now.
Amid
It
all
was
the
a rough
wreckage,
year,
though,
Jeanette,
there
you're
were
right.
glimmers. Rookie receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown emerged as the late season star.
God, he's so good at running.
Caught for the touchdown. Who else? Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Despite not having Pro Bowler Frank Ragnow most of the season due to injury, the offensive line featuring rookie Penei Sewell began to gel. And Goff, in the season's final stretches, started to look more comfortable, throwing fewer interceptions, commanding the huddle.
This game. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the game we won against Minnesota right here, isn't that the game that they did the tribute to the situation that happened at the one high school? You know what I'm talking about? Isn't that the game where they all wore the hats and the jackets and stuff for the high school team? So it was almost like super fitting.
And showing glimpses of the quick read play action passer he'd been in LA.
Victory of the year on the line. Goff's got it. Back, looks, throws, and
boom!
Touchdown, Detroit Lions! They did
I
it!
was screaming. I was so happy when that happened. I was elated.
But even then, nobody was writing songs about Goff. He was a quarterback Detroit was tolerating, not embracing.
Goff's been when people
Lions,
strip
have
sacked
5
too many
picks
times.
in the top 100,
Held my
including
breath. I
the
was
second
shitting in my
overall
pants
pick.
every time.
So do they go quarterback, you think, at number 2?
I don't, Kelsey. Some think they will. I
One of the few times Mel Kiper was right. No, the Lions will not go quarterback at 2.
disagree. Malik Willis's name has come up for them, but I just think you go defense. You got a corner like Sauce.
Heading into the 2022 season, the narrative was the same. Goff is a placeholder and the Lions are rebuilding. But inside the building, something was changing. The offense began to find its identity under offensive coordinator Ben Johnson. The playbook emphasized Goff's strengths: quick reads, misdirection, and a strong ground game. Jamal Williams was dancing into the end zone almost every week.
Williams with a big hole. Jamal Williams, can he take it to the house? Yes, he can.
Back when Jay Willie was good.
And Amon-Ra St. Brown, he blossomed as a star.
It's the kind of play that energizes an offense.
It's Goff. It's a throw, and it is a touchdown for Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yet, the season started poorly, 1-6. Same old Lions, you know? But then, quietly, things began to change.
This is a team that was 1-6. They're now 7-7, and their only loss was a heartbreaker at the buzzer against Buffalo, which is one of the best teams in the sport. What do we say about the Detroit Lions today?
Man, nobody wants to play them. I'm telling you that right now, and you're right. How many teams 1-6? They end up folding. Now we're punting on the season. Fire the coach. Not one time did that team flinch. This team is playing their butts off. They don't let go of the rope. The offense is a joke. This offense is a phenomenal offense.
I think the thing that stands out is they're not scared of the moment. This whole football team is not scared of any moment.
Detroit rattled off an improbable 8-2 finish to close the year.
Hell yeah,
Goff
we did.
played some of the best football of his
shoved it
career.
right in Green
Smart,
Bay's ass.
decisive, and efficient. The Lions finished 9-8.
Make sure to comment, subscribe, share. I'm going to get copyright on this song probably too.
Missing the playoffs by the skin of their teeth. But in their final game, despite out of playoff contention, they went into Lambeau Field and played spoiler by knocking the Packers out of the postseason
Hell
as well.
yeah, we did.
So here we go. The Lions can end
Kirby
this ball
Joseph
game right
retired
here.
Aaron Rodgers from Green Bay.
4th and 1 from the Green Bay 15. Goff takes the snap, back, looks, throws, caught. First down, Detroit Lions. DJ Chark down inside the 10-yard line. This game is over.
Yes.
It is over. How big has this football team been tonight? You want to change the conversation, win some games. And that's exactly what they've done.
It wasn't just a win. It was a statement. Dan Campbell's team was no longer a joke. And Jared Goff, little by little, began to look like more than just a stand-in. Suddenly, 2023 wasn't about patience. It was about expectations. For the first time in decades, the Lions opened the season with hype. But week 1 set the tone. A primetime matchup against the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes on the other sideline.
The Lions are trying to win a playoff game. They haven't done that in 31 years. They've never been to the Super Bowl. But in Michigan, the anticipation is through the roof. How good are they?
I like them. I do like them. They had the 4th best offense last year. They won 8 of their last 10 games. Their defense added a lot. They should be greatly improved there. But now you get the world champions. Now you get the MVP. The hype train's over, Detroit. It's time to go to work.
But that didn't matter, because on banner night, Detroit went to Arrowhead and stunned the football world with a 21-20 victory.
Goff takes one knee down, first down, and Goff is telling those fans, let me hear you. And listen to the cheers for the Lions in Arrowhead. An impressive road turnout by a fan base that has longed for a moment like this on a stage like this.
Jared Goff outplayed Mahomes that night. He was poised, calm, and efficient, extending Detroit's momentum from the previous season.
Sutton.
The Lions had arrived.
Last night, that's the kind of game the Detroit Lions have lost my entire life.
I know everybody's freaking out about the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs losing last night in their banner-raising night, but I'm going the opposite way. I'm going to go, how about those Detroit Lions?
As much as people,
Lions,
myself
dude.
included, have laughed at Dan Campbell and the biting the knee
You got to admit, Colin Cowherd, he admitted when he was wrong.
caps, the Detroit Lions are him.
As the season unfolded, Detroit battled injuries and adversity but kept winning. Their offense was explosive. Their defense, led by young stars like Aiden Hutchinson, grew tougher each week. Goff, he finished the regular season with over 4,500 passing yards and one of the lowest interception rates in the entire league.
Today's game, right here, Week 16, a Lions victory locks up the NFC North. But remember, the team that owns that crown is the other team on the field right now, and they don't want to see the Lions celebrating this thing inside their house.
Aaron
So you're gonna get the very
Rogers
best
completing.
the
Green Bay was
Vikings
to
have to
Kirby
offer
Joseph.
there. 58 seconds to go. Clock will start on the snap. Mullins takes the shotgun snap. He's back. Mullins looking. Pressure comes. Stepping up. Looking. Throwing deep downfield. It is picked up by the Lions. Intercepted. Coming back the other way. Ifatu Melifonwu. This is going to be over. Lions are going to win it. Lions are bringing the NFC North title back to Detroit.
The Lions will go on to win the NFC North for the first time in franchise history, which ultimately meant Ford Field was hosting a playoff game. And as fate would have it, it delivered a poetic matchup. Detroit versus LA. Goff versus Stafford.
It's a night Detroit, Michigan has been waiting 3 decades to enjoy. Tonight, inside Ford Field, it's the
Making me
first
feel a
home
certain
playoff
way,
game
boys.
since 1994.
Make me feel a certain
for
way.
the NFC North champion, Detroit Lions.
This doesn't get you hype. This doesn't get you hype. You ain't got no pulse.
The atmosphere inside Ford Field was unlike anything Detroit has ever felt. You could sense the collective weight of every heartbreak, every same old Lions joke, every fourth quarter collapse. And now, Matthew Stafford, the quarterback who had given the city so many highlights but never a playoff win, stood on the other sideline.
You would be hard-pressed to find a game with a better plot than this one. The first matchup in NFL postseason history between quarterbacks facing their former teams.
The game was a battle. Stafford looked sharp.
Play clock down to 2. Shotgun snap. Stafford drops back, lofts a tight spiral near side. Wide open catch. Nakua over the shoulder, breaks a tackle, and he spins his way into the end zone.
But Goff, he didn't flinch. He orchestrated long, methodical drives, converting key third downs and finding St. Brown and Sam Laporta in crucial moments.
Shotgun snap. Goff looks near side, fires into the end zone. It is caught for the Detroit touchdown. It's the rookie Sam Laporta.
Touchdown,
And
baby.
with the money on the table again, Jared Goff delivers a strike.
In the closing minutes, Detroit clung to a narrow lead. Stafford had one last chance, but the Lions defense rose up, forcing a turnover on downs.
3rd and 14. Stafford steps up, throws inside. Nakua incomplete with a ton of contact. No call and 4th down.
Kaminsky.
Now, all Goff had to do was seal the deal. One accurate pass after another.
3-5. Goff's going to throw, and it's caught by St. Brown for a first down. Timeout, Rams, 1:52 to go.
Right here. That
Jared
shot at
Goff.
Jared Goff. That right there is just like everything. He just this like, I've done it. You all helped me do it. We've done this together. Everything changed in this moment. Right
Takes
here.
the final
That
knee,
look at the
and
look
the
of that
fi-
man right there. I've done this. We've done this. We are all doing this together. This is a changed city now.
Final seconds are going to come off the clock here at Ford Field in Detroit. The Detroit Lions have got their first postseason win in 32 years. January 5th, 1992, They outlast the Los Angeles Rams. They win it 24-23, and the Lions are moving on to the divisional round of the NFL playoffs.
As the final seconds ticked off, Ford Field erupted. Decades of frustration transformed into euphoric joy.
Jared, you told us this was not a revenge game. All your teammates, including these guys, told me they wanted to win this one for you, given everything you've been through with Los Angeles. What does this one mean personally?
Yeah, it means a lot, but it's this team's special. This team's really special, and it's about the 2023 Lions. I know we just broke a streak that's been going on for 30 years, but it's about this squad. It's about the people in this locker room, in this building. It's about our head coach, Dan Campbell, and what he infuses into all of us, and it's about us.
It's easy to think that a single game defines a player, but for Goff, this was the culmination of years of public doubt and private resolve. He had every reason to fold, cast aside by the Rams, labeled system dependent, and sent to a franchise buried under decades of losing. But he didn't. He embraced Detroit, its blue-collar spirit, its underdog DNA. He rebuilt his game, his confidence, and his reputation, brick by brick. Detroit, too, transformed. Under Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes, and Sheila Ford Hamp, they changed from a perennial punchline to a team that expects to win. They infused the roster with young talent and built a culture around grit and belief. Goff was at the center of that transformation, even if it took everyone else a while to see.
Okay, I'll just say it like this. Right? Hey, you're good enough for Detroit, kid.
Good enough for Detroit, Jared Goff.
So, if you're looking for that exact moment Jared Goff officially became a Detroit Lion, it wasn't when he first put on the jersey. No. It wasn't during the long losing streak or even the comeback against Green Bay. It was that January night against the Rams, when he stood toe-to-toe with the man he was traded for and walked away with a win. A win that echoed beyond the scoreboard. A win that rewrote the narrative. Jared Goff, he's no longer the guy Detroit got in a trade. He's their quarterback, their leader, and finally, a Detroit Lion in every sense of the word.
Someone special. Don't go to war with yourself. Just turn it on. And you can't go wrong.
Woo! Does that not get you hype? Oh, hell yeah, Brent. Yeah, I'm hearing this Ian Kennelly guy is playing great. This kid from GVSU. You might bump Dan Jackson, dude. You never know. You know what I'm saying? He might just outgrind Dan Jackson. So, all right, guys. We ran a few minutes over, but hopefully that was. Look, I'm just saying that fucking hype video about Jared Goff, dude. If that doesn't make you fucking respect Jared Goff, if that doesn't perfectly contextualize everything that I try and say about Jared Goff. It just nails it. You know what I mean? That just fucking nailed it. So today we talked about Trump threatening the commies with not letting them build their stadium on RFK Memorial site, and unless they change their name back to the Washington Redskins, which they absolutely should. News broke about Levi Onwuzurike. He's going to miss the whole season because he had to have ACL injury. They tried to do a little cleanup, and found out it was way more extensive than it needed to be. So he's done for the whole year. That paves a easier road to success for our rookie defensive linemen. Then we talked about our guy, sadly, Anthony Tyus, Detroit Lions running back. Oh, we didn't actually talk about that. We didn't. We totally skipped the Anthony Tyus thing, more or less. But the Lions cut Anthony Tyus, which is unfortunate. And then Lions training camp day one injury reports. We kind of talked about guys who were there, guys who weren't there. We did then talk a little bit about Alex Anzalone. He was at camp but not doing anything, and that is he's dealing with a hamstring injury. Hopefully it's just a hamstring injury, not an actual hamstring injury, because that could absolutely cripple the 2025 campaign for Alex Anzalone, who's seeking a renewed contract. And then we went ahead and watched this awesome video by another sports channel, how one game changed Jared Goff's career forever. And if that fucking video doesn't make you at least respect Jared Goff, if not feel just fucking elated over what he can do, then I don't know what to do for you, man. You need to go see a cardiologist because you probably don't have a pulse. So, all right, guys, I appreciate everything today. Appreciate you tuning in, telling a friend. That's what we love about you. It's been a wonderful start to our Monday, July 21st. It is Hat and Boob's birthday, so we're going to go do birthday things for her the rest of the day. Try and have yourself a good rest of the day. Stay out of trouble. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. I've been Hat and Beard. You've been an attentive audience. Until tomorrow, bonga bonga. Frig off.